7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What's up guys, welcome to today's vlog. Today I'm really excited to bring you this video because we're gonna do 3 men's cuts in one video. And the reason we're gonna do that is because all the sides, the cut on the sides is pretty much the same. So we took that down with a clipper, and then what I did was I went through and I changed the top of the haircut, just tweaked it a little bit to create 3 different styles. I went through GQ magazine and found a longer cut, a medium cut, and then a shorter cut. And this is all very salon friendly haircuts, very trendy haircuts right now. So I know you guys are gonna be able to use them. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Let's get started with the video. No wasting time, here we go. All right guys, so 3 different men's cuts in one video. The way that we're gonna do this is I'm gonna cut the sides first. The sides are gonna be pretty generic to fit all 3 haircuts. So we're gonna do a nice kind of medium length taper on the sides, starting out nice and short. So what I do with every men's cut is I go through and I blow dry with my comb first. So we shampoo them, get all the product out of their hair. Now I'm gonna go through and take out all the bulk using my number 2 blade with the Andis Supra ZR clipper. I like using the metal blades as opposed to the plastic guards when I'm taking out a lot of bulk. So this allows me to work quicker. It's a motor-driven clipper blade as opposed to a magnetic clipper blade. What that's going to do is just give me more power, more drive power behind it. So it's easier to work through that hair. So if you're ever trying to run your clipper through the hair and it gets stuck, a lot of times that has to do with just the power of the blade. So the Supra ZR is cool because it has multi-level speeds to the blade. So you can actually move the blade really fast when you want to go through the haircut quickly. And then you can slow it down if you want to do a little more detail work. The faster you go through a haircut, the more steps that are going to be involved in the haircuts. You want to go through nice and slow, but also be efficient at the same time. Now I'm going to go through using my, this is a YS Park 337 comb and my Mizutani 6.5 inch blacksmith fit scissor. What I'm doing is blending that weight line. So as I was going through with the clipper, I was following the ridge of the head from the just below the recession point down to low crown, and that kind of gives me that diagonal back feel to the weight line. I really like that in men's cuts. It's one of my favorite ways to kind of just follow the head shape through. You'll see it in a lot of men's cuts that I do. I also think it's very on trend to do that as well. And so I'm going through just lifting and taking out some of that weight with my scissor. I love doing scissor over comb. A lot of you have asked for a video of just scissor over comb. I'm probably not going to do that. The only reason I won't do that is because it's not something I do in the salon. I do a lot of clipper work on the sides, then I go through with scissor over comb. I like doing both techniques for 2 different reasons. I need the speed in the salon, and I like working efficiently. I like going in, taking out that bulk, and then going through and doing my detail work with scissor over comb. So I'm going to move in, just detail the sides with the trimmer. Obviously, you would customize that to your guest. So with the mannequin, he kind of has a square back, but if you wanted to round it or do whatever, you can customize that for your guest. So we finished the sides. Now we're going to start with our first look. You can see it's a long disconnected top. I love this look. I think it's very popular in the salon right now. So we're going to go through step by step. I'm going to show you how to blend this. So we're going to start in the back, mid-crown area, working vertical and over directing everything to the previous. So I'm working my way around the crown. Notice the way that I comb the hair. I'm combing the hair away from my body towards the guide so that I don't lose my guide, I don't move my guide from where it lives, and I just keep that pattern going through. So you're going to see now as I turn, I comb and I push the hair away. A lot of people would just keep pulling that and gathering it together, and a lot of those haircuts that you guys see on Instagram or you see that just have those really, really clean lines to them, the reason for that is because they're being so particular with their sectioning and their blow drying and the styling and the finishing of the men's cut. So I just work my way through, staying very consistent and following the round of the head. So key thing as I'm going around the corner, I'm following around the head the entire time I work through the crown, but then once I get to that corner right behind the right ear, then I start over directing everything straight back to me. So what that's going to do is start pushing that length towards the front and give me all that extra length in the front. The other thing that we're doing is we're building up extra weight over the parting. So my finger angle is adjusted so that the longest point is at the most inside point of my finger. So my fingertip is more of a blend feel in the back, and then the inside of my finger at the very top is a longer portion. So then what we're going to do is we're going to create a nice solid hard line on the side of the head. The reason I like to do this, it just gives my haircut a nice clean look in the end result. So I'll go through, just take that horizontal section all the way through the top, bring it over to me as a stationary guide. That's going to give me my nice clean line. Then when I go through and style it, you'll be able to see that clean line. Just gives the haircut more definition. Now I'm going to go through with my comb, lifting the hair up, blow drying it back, blow drying the hair exactly the way that I want it to live. This is a good thing. If you're a guy watching this and you don't do hair, this is a great way to style your hair. Make sure you use that blow dryer. A lot of men, if you're not using a more greasy product, if you don't blow dry your hair, most men's products nowadays are water soluble. So basically what that means is if it touches water, it starts to kind of disappear, doesn't work as well. So you want to use that blow dry to get the hair set where you want it, and then go in and put your product in. We're going to use Roozle for the first style. This is the pink Roozle. It's a nice firm hold to it. It gives it a nice sleek look. It's not a wet product, but it does have a nice little medium sheen to it. And then I go through and I comb the product into the hair. I think this is something that we've lost along the way through the textured movement of men's hair and all of that. But go through and just comb the product through the hair to get it nice and evenly saturated, and then you get that finished look. All right, guys, so this is haircut number 2, and the big difference between this haircut and the previous one is it's disconnected in the back crown area, but it's more connected on the sides and in the front. So the front gets a little bit longer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by working in the crown area. We already have our sides cut, so feeling good about that. We used our two blade for that. Now I'm going to go through, blow dry the crown area, working that back and forth. This is my 339 comb from YS Park. It's got nice tight teeth, and I work that crown area to get all those cowlicks kind of worked out and laying in the natural fall. That's going to help me work more efficiently. Also, I don't like either clipper over comb, clippering, or scissor over comb work on wet hair, because wet hair is not going to really tell me the truth. And as I go through, I don't get as blended of a line because the hair clumps together more. So as I work through the back, I'm doing a scissor over comb technique. And the reason I chose scissor over comb, you could just kind of buzz through this with a clipper. I think that's what a lot of people do. And it's one of the reasons why I don't really love this haircut when I see it on people sometimes, because they go all the way through the crown, they buzz all the way up, and then it becomes too disconnected. They cut the crown way too short, and and then those cowlicks kind of start peeking out in just different ways. And some people just cut the cowlicks completely off. I like scissor over comb because it allows me to decide what kind of length I want, especially around the cowlick area. Because if they have kind of a crazy wave pattern or growth pattern in the back, I like to work through that. Now what I'm going to do is go through and blend. We're going to work, whether you call it vertical or horizontal, straight through the back, and over directing everything to the previous section. So complete blend all the way through, but again, watch my combing, how I comb everything to the guide. So on the left side, I combed everything away from my body, and then on the right side, I comb everything towards my body. So we're going to continue working through the top of the head, taking a little section by section. Staying organized is the most important part. And what I want to do is I want to create extra length in the front, like the image or the picture that you saw at the beginning. So what I'm doing is I'm shifting my elbow up, which is shifting my finger angle and allowing extra length in the front of the haircut. Notice again my combing, so I'm combing everything towards the guideline. And now as I work down this side, I do the same exact thing. So over directing everything towards myself to the previous section. Now we're going to work into the front. And now you have to pay attention to the fact that the head shape now shifts. So I shift my elbow up in the mid part of the haircut to add that extra length. But now through the front, I don't want to shift my elbow up. I want to cut straight across because the head shape starts to shift down. So I don't want to, if I shifted my elbow up at this point, it would leave the front way too long and it would throw off the style. So I'm just following that head shape now, letting the forehead do the over direction for me. Same concept with the combing, staying very consistent with that is going to help him when he's at home recreate this style very easily. So now I'm combing away from my body towards the guideline. So you can see the length, the amount of length in the front of this haircut. If I were to lift that elbow, you can imagine how much extra length would have been there. It would have had way too much length to fit the style. All right, so that ends look number 2. We're going to style it up now. So I'm going through blow drying with my 339 comb, really working any of those cowlicks out. You can see the short feel to the crown of the hair, and also using that comb to pop up the front of the haircut. You can see that the style is almost there already, and then all I do is just go in and add that Rousel. This is the green Rousel, has a little more of a thick feel, a little wetter feel, and not so firm of a hold, but you can see how it's nice and sleek in the crown and then pops right up in the front. Obviously, you could take this haircut shorter or longer to fit your guest, but make sure you do that, customize it for what they're looking for. And this is the other style with the same exact haircut. So I want to give you guys kind of a bonus. In GQ magazine, which is where I got all of these looks from, there was more of a sleek kind of wet feel to this style as well. So I'll show you that now. So you can see how it's just kind of slicked over. It's the same exact haircut, same exact guy, but they just slicked it over. So it's kind of a neat look for it as well. Now, we're going to go through with our third look, which is a little more of a normal look. This is for your, older clientele or somebody that's not looking for quite that much disconnection, just a nice sleek haircut. So what I'm going to do is just work that round of the head. And instead of all the over directing back that I did in the other haircuts, all I'm doing is bringing it back to the previous section. So not as much extreme over direction, and going through using a point cutting technique. And the reason I'm point cutting is because I want to add a lot more texture to the top of the haircut. Following the round of the head, remember, even though I'm following the round of the head, that hair is still going to fall a little bit heavier on the corners. So it's not going to give it a round feel because weight still has to build up somewhere. It's just going to make the weight build up a little bit softer. So just know that if your guest has, a really high density of hair, a lot of times they want you to follow the round of the head because it will give them more of a square look in the end. So just point cutting through, over directing back to the previous, still at this point. Using point cutting with the scissor. This is the Ichinino San #1 scissor from Mizutani. It's a 5.5-inch scissor. I'm going through, it's got the gold finish on it, just over directing back. Using the forehead again at this point, the curve of that forehead, over directing it back to the previous section is actually giving me extra length because the forehead has that kind of curved down feel to it. And then I go through and I blow dry with my comb again, work out all those cowlicks, and I'm going to go through and style it with a finishing product. So just working, you can see that I use the nozzle of the blow dryer. A lot of people throw away that nozzle. I think nowadays it's a little more popular to keep it on there, but guys got to realize that if you use that nozzle, you can see how it just lays the hair down exactly the way I want it to. Now we got the styles set. We go in with our Rousel pomade just to kind of finish it off and add those little finishing touches to it, showcase that parting in there, but it's a nice sleek look. So I hope you guys liked all of these different cuts. Definitely let me know in the comments below if you liked them all, which one was your favorite, and thank you guys so much for checking out this video. All right, guys, and if you like today's video, like always, post in the comments below. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your favorite cut was on the video, and maybe I'll make a separate video for that one as well. Go to fsesocial.com. That's our social media website where you can join and interact with other hairdressers and just become a part of the conversation. Love to have you on there. Also, check out our online store, freesaloneducation.com. Use the code MattBeckVlog, all one word, and you'll get 20% off your entire purchase. Thank you guys so much for always checking out the vlog and supporting it. And until next time, I'll see you on the next video. Thanks.
Seven, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What's up, guys? Welcome to today's vlog. Today what we're going to focus on is cutting bangs. I know a lot of you guys out there have issues with different types of bangs, understanding which ones to use. So what I did today was I put together a compilation of every type of bangs you could pretty much ever think of. So we have long heavy bangs, long light bangs, medium side swept bang, choppy side swept bang, straight fringe, and then a really short grungy looking bang at the very end just for fun. So hope you guys like this. I'm gonna get started with the step-by-step. Make sure if you want to follow us, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any videos that we put out. And also, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments. Here we go. Let's get started. All right, guys, so we're going to start off by sectioning off the mannequin to get ready for cutting the bangs. So what I'm going to do is go from the high point down to the recession point on the head and just create a nice triangle right in the forehead area of the mannequin or of your client. Now I'm going to clip that away. I've got my triangle. Now I'm going to take a left-hand side parting. We're going to start off creating a heavy, longer side bang. So what I'm going to do is go with really low elevation. The lower the elevation when you're cutting a bang, the heavier it's going to be. We've talked about this in past videos. If you have to treat the front of the head the same as you would treat the back. So if I'm trying to create light, airy layers, then I definitely want to elevate more. With this, what I want to do is add some extra weight, and this would be for somebody that maybe wants to be able to pull their hair back and doesn't want the hair to fall out, things like that, but they still want that kind of angled fringe around the face. So I keep the low elevation. I work diagonal sections all the way back, bringing them to a stationary guide, and then connecting it on the opposite side. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to blow it dry, because what I want you guys to see after every bang that I cut, I want you to see the dry finished look of it so you can compare which type of bang you're looking to create. Now keep in mind, I'm doing very basic versions of each bang, so if you elevate it a little bit more, you could take out a little bit more weight. So this would definitely be based on each of your clients. Don't do this exactly the way I'm doing it every single time. So now we're going to use our VibraStraight iron, go through, iron it out, just so you guys can see that polished finish and how the bang is actually going to lay. Some guests really like that heaviness in the front, especially if they have a lower density or kind of a weaker hairline. And like I said, if they want to pull all their hair back and not have the hair falling out. So now we're going to move into a light, long side bang. And what this is going to do, it's going to be cut pretty much the same. The only difference is now we're elevating the hair. So we talked about the more you elevate the hair, the lighter it's going to be in the front. So I'm doing a 90-degree elevation with a stationary guide. So I'm over directing everything over to the same point, pushing it away from my body. I like cutting from a short to long point, so that's why I'm pushing the hair away. You could stand on the opposite side and pull the hair towards you, just really whatever makes you comfortable. But I'm working that stationary guide, cutting, and what that's doing is collapsing that hair, but it's giving it a seamless feel because of the fact that I'm following the head shape. So just make sure when you elevate the hair that your finger angle is parallel with the forehead. If you elevate any higher, it's just going to collapse it too much. So now we're going to blow it dry. I want to show you guys the difference. You can really compare the heavy bang as opposed to the light bang. So I think that this is such a good visual for me. This is a video that I've wanted to create for a long time because we don't get the opportunity to see these visually next to each other, all these different haircuts and different ways of removing and keeping weight. So you could see the flow, it works really well. You can see the weight that's been taken out right around the edges of that haircut where it was heavy before. So it just makes it a lot easier for your guests to be able to style it and maneuver it. So now we're going to work on a shorter side bang. And what I'm going to do is take diagonal forward sections, over direct them, creating a stationary guide. And again, because we want to go heavy, I'm keeping my elevation low and cutting with my finger angle parallel to my parting. So just making sure I keep that consistent. Now, if you wanted to create a little more of a light feel to this fringe, what I would do is just suggest slight elevation after each section that you take. No one says that you have to stay either stationary or kind of extremely move it. You could just slightly lift it as you go around that curve of the head, and then you won't get so much of a weight line on the opposite side. What I wanted to do for you guys today is just show you what that stationary guide looks like. It's got a really cool feel to it, and it really pushes that weight down to the cheekbone area. So you can see that there is a little bit of layering. Why that happens is because as I round the head, my elevations change. So we did create some layering following the round of the head there. Now I'm just connecting the opposite side using my finger angle the same way, and I'll go through, blow it dry, iron it out so you guys can see what this looks like. I think this is a pretty standard bang, and I think this is what a lot of people cut, and then they get upset that it's a little too heavy. So this is definitely, you got to listen to your guest, what they're looking for, but I'm going to show you guys how to make it look lighter and more PC in a second. So we'll go through again with the VibraStraight iron, iron it out so you guys can see the true shape of the haircut. You'll notice when I'm cutting hair, I'm using a tighter teeth comb. I'm using a 339 comb from Wyas Park. When I go through to iron the hair, I use this is the 337 comb, just because it's a little bit easier to get through the hair. You can see that nice soft angle. That's all created with over direction and finger angle, guys. So pretty cool. Now we're going to do a light, short, more airy, kind of fringy, I guess fringy would be the word, but a PC look in the bang. So what I'm going to do is take the weight, over direct everything over the part. So I'm taking a vertical section, over directing everything over the part, twisting it, pinching it in my finger, and doing a tease cutting technique with the scissor. What the tease cutting technique is, if you haven't seen that in some of our past videos, you can also look it up on our YouTube channel for sure. But the tease cutting technique is a half open, half closing of the scissor. So you're just closing the scissor down on, pinching the hair into the scissor. You'll be able to see a better angle of it here. So I take that vertical section and then I'm just half closing as I go into the hair. We definitely have more detailed videos on that technique if you're looking to learn it. You also could create more of a light PC feel by elevation. So remember the second bang cut that we just did, all you'd have to do is elevate those bangs up and you would get the same sort of effect. I like it being a little more choppy, and that's what the tease cutting technique does. It's not giving it an exact feel, it's giving it more PC kind of textured feel. Now we're going to go through and cut a straight bang. I like to do this on dry hair if I can. And what I do is I use the tip of the scissor or the blade of the scissor to lift up the bang. I slide my comb underneath using not super wide teeth, but not super tight either. So the 339 comb works pretty well for me for this. And I go in, I hold the hair up with a nice elevation, not too high, because again, the higher I elevate that comb, the more layered effect I'm going to get on the hair. So I want that nice solid line in there. So I just hold the hair tight with the comb, and I go through and I use my blade to cut the scissor, and I use the comb to hold the tension. So you can see you get that nice hard line fringe in there. That works for any place throughout the head to create that straight line. Now we're going to go through and create a grunge bang. And this is something that's pretty popular. You'll see it all over Instagram, and a lot of hairdressers are creating this kind of chunky PC bang in the front. It's really short, and then they let the longer hair fall over top. So I wanted to show you guys this as well. I know it's not probably a popular thing in your salon, but people may ask for it, so I think it's good to know it, and it's just fun to cut. So going through, I create that PCness by really angling my scissor and cutting into it, deep point cutting, and then I go through and I do that tease cutting technique to piece out the overlay. So it's really combining a lot of the different techniques that we did, so you can see how that looks pretty cool. All right, guys, so that's pretty much all the different types of bangs that I had in my head. If you guys have any ideas, post them in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. There's the video. All right, guys, if you like this video, then hit the like button, hit the share button, share this video with all of your friends. Make sure to go join fsesocial.com. That's our social media community. We have our own app, so go download it, fsesocial.com. Thanks for watching.